In the past few decades, the violence against women has become a prevalent phenomenon.
According to Lashmi Puri, violence against women is one of the least prosecuted crimes and one of the greatest threats to lasting peace and development.
Violence against women and girls is an extreme manifestation of gender inequality and systematic gender based discrimination.
This discrimination occurs in all social classes of the least and the most developed countries.
The right of women to live free of violence rely on the protection of their human rights and a strong chain of justice. Even though there has been some progress in policies and legislation, this problem remains as one of the top human rights issues today.
For women located in Latin American countries, violence has become a constant habit.
Despite the economic gains, countries like Guatemala and Bolivia have the highest rates of femicide, killing of women, which led Latin America to reach alarming levels.
As stated by the most recent region-wide statistics available, in 2003 revealed that 7 Latin American countries were scored among the worst 10 nations when measuring the rate of femicide per 1 million women in 40 countries.
Domestic violence has always existed, but its origin is debatable. It is possible that the violence raised an issue since the 15th century, when America was colonized.
All the Spanish, Portuguese, and French colonies here in America that were ruled by the monarchy had always implemented violence in their manners. But really, the difficult times had started in the 20th century. The drug trafficking organizations stations to promote violence to all countries, and by consequence to all the population and families.
Violence against women has been accepted throughout history. Many feminists declare violence as the result of a patriarchal culture that encourages male discrimination. They claim that in partial culture, men use violence to keep their dominant position.
Due to the culture of masculinity, men see the traditional model of manliness and one who encourages the daring and aggression.
This discrimination not only costs the lives of hundreds of women in Latin America, but it decreases the region's social and economic development. These killings do not give the chance of women to participate to the economic growth of the country.
Violence against women takes place all around the world. As we mentioned before, even though a country is well developed, there is a chance of violence to be present.
In Brazil, more than 40,000 women have been murdered for simply being women in the past 10 years. Recent statistics show that every 15 seconds a woman is assaulted. Every 2 hours a woman is murdered.
Brazil has the seventh highest rate of violence against women globally. Honduras is considered one of the most dangerous places to live for a woman. Anyone can murder a woman, and nothing will happen. In Colombia, one woman is killed every 2 days. Colombia's National Institute of Legal Medicine and Forensic Science reported a 40% growth in cases involving sexual and physical violence against women.
The third most violent place in the world for women is Guatemala, which asks for a law to protect women from violence in 2008, making it the first country to do so. According to the United Nations, 2 women are killed there every day.
Another important fact about Guatemala is women state that the government doesn't care about them and is unbelievably true. Guatemalan women say that the government only approaches them when the elections are taking place. When it is that time of the year that politicians come to them and provide them food and clothing.
Bolivia has with one of the highest numbers of violence against women. Bolivia came first in physical and sexualized violence against women, perpetrated by their partner or ex-partner. In Peru, violence against women is also very high, being one of the countries that has a very big number of reports about physical and sexual violence for women.
Mexico, according to UN officials, ranks among the world's 20 worst countries for violence against women. Since 2007, in Mexico, there was an increase of more than 60% in assassination of women in the country. Each year, there are more than 50,000 reports of rape.
It has become really common, the violence against women in the recent years, where the organized crime exists. The lack of justice against these criminals has a lot to do with the promotion of violence. The government does not investigate the cases and deliver the message that the crime can be repeated.
There is a bigger rise in murders and violence against women than against men. This generates inequality. Since Enrique Peña Nieto took office in 2012, he has said that he will reduce the violence and the drug war, but he has failed to take action on reducing violence against women.
The UN has an organization that is mainly focused in achieving gender equality and woman empowerment, called the UN Women. UN Women is an organization located in Panama, classified as an intergovernmental organization that supports countries' offices spread across the region as well as countries where the UN Woman has limited presence. They help to strengthen women's leadership among politics. They call the policies and solutions to open access to resources, employment, and services. They work with countries to assure laws that protect the woman and involve men as partners to help stop violence. The United Organization was created to end violence against women, and it is classified as an intergovernmental organization that, according to its official site, aims to raise public awareness and increase political will and resources for preventing and ending all forms of violence against women and girls in all parts of the world. Even though this organization is already spread to Latin America and the Caribbean, it states that only a fraction of women and girls report these incidents. Woman says that the reason of this is because they are worried that the repercussions of seeking help will mean more violence. Ormusa, Organización de Mujeres Salvadoreñas por la Paz, is one of the many organizations trying to reduce the violence against women. It is classified as a non-governmental organization, that it is supported by the UN Women. Thanks to it and other organizations in El Salvador, the law of a life free of violence against women was implemented in January 1, 2012. This law prevents and identifies violence against women, and it also applies strategies to protect victims and their families. Salvador, nowadays, is one of the most recent countries in Latin America that has started the fight to stop violence against women by applying laws and giving support to organizations like Ormus. The UN also has an organization named WHO, World Health Organization, which protects the sexual violence against women. Violence can result in physical, mental, sexual health problems, and may increase vulnerability to HIV, and there could be a lot of health consequences. WHO works on decreasing the percentage of women affected by this problem.
Other actors are the main participants of this issue, men and women. As we know, the principal role of the woman is being the victim in this problem, and the man is known as the attacker. Most of the time, we see this usual role for both of them. For example, we know that the man is going to be the bad person in this issue, but we can see the man as other participant for the ending of this violence. According to the organization we mentioned before, UNITE, men also play a critical role as fathers, brothers, friends, and husbands in speaking out against violence against women and girls, and ensuring that priority attention is given to the issue. Basically, men have the opportunity to become new role models for younger ones so that they can see the true face of masculinity, which is provide the given respect to a woman. We can relate this conflict with two possible conflicts we saw during class. The first conflict we think is linked with is obviously gender inequality. Violence against women has always been an international problem, and very important events have occurred due to this problem, because women want to be treated the same as a man, in terms of opportunities for work, political power, wealth, laws, and many different things in which men are treated different than women. This problem has been a very important impact in today's society, but the violence against women has continued to grow. If we relate the conflict seen in class with this issue, we can say that the ethnic conflict is the one that most approaches this problem. Therefore, the other conflict we choose to link this issue is the ethnic conflict. As we saw in class, an ethnic group is a group that shares language, culture, ancestral, social, or national experience. Women can be classified as a group since they share same ideologies and facial factions. This conflict is mainly related to this issue because an ethnic group looks for a place to be, a place where they can be free, and women are trying to do the same, find some equality where they can be secure and comfortable where they belong.